So there's that pressure because this is what I do on YouTube. Last year I found myself buying a lot of perfumes that if I was to go back in the year, would I buy it again? No. The fragrance review I will talk about and you just go and blind buy it. Don't even do it. Zerjov fragrances do not have the best longevity. I'm not saying anything, I'm keeping quiet. We move on. I would have rather put that money together to buy. It'll be interesting to see where my nose goes in 2023. I don't like things that have too much muscles. There are some that I regret. Don't worry, you will find out as we keep going. Last year I bought over 30 bottles of perfume. A round of applause for me. I'm not the biggest fan of leather in fragrances, but this is wow. I run a fragrance review channel and there's a lot of pressure, to be honest, to constantly buy things.
Alright, quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
3, 2, 1, action. Hey Bambi, welcome back to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and become part of the family. In today's video, it is a reflection video. It's that time of the year to reflect, to look back. And in today's video, I will be looking back on my 2022 fragrance purchases. I'll just be sharing what I think and how I feel about them. If I still like them, what I think about the purchases as of today. These are fragrance decisions that I made throughout the year 2022. This year in total, having looked back, I did not buy more than 12 perfumes. You know what? A round of applause for me because I run a fragrance review channel and there's a lot of pressure, to be honest, to constantly buy things, to constantly review things, to constantly have the latest perfume to come and talk about with you guys. So there's that pressure because this is what I do on YouTube. I talk about fragrances. This year I had to hold myself back a lot because last year I found myself buying a lot of perfumes that were not necessarily horrible, but were not necessarily also my faves. So this year it was a bit different. My buying strategy changed, especially halfway through the year. If you want to hear all about the fragrance choices I made this year, the fragrance purchases I made this year, and what I think about them now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. I'm not going to do them in the order of how I brought them into my collection. I'm just going to talk about them randomly. But the first one I'm going to talk about was actually the first fragrance purchase I made this year. And it is a Latimus Mercurial Cashmere. This is a niche fragrance. Latimus, all they do is literally perfumes. The first time I heard about this fragrance, it wasn't even a heard about. It was more a, you know, I smelt it on somebody and let's just say I fell in love with it as soon as I smelt it on the person. I have created my own memories with this perfume, even though this fragrance still reminds me of, you know, that person. I'm like, oh, it reminds me of that person. But anyways, I have created my own fragrance memories with this perfume. It is a perfume that I still feel very, very, very positively about. It's a fragrance that I still very, very, very much recommend. It's a fragrance that if I was to go back, I would still buy. A fragrance purchase that I stand by, a decision I still stand by. There are some that I regret. Don't worry, you will find out as we keep going. This one, it's stunning, and I think this is a fragrance that you could wear all year round, even though I enjoyed wearing this more during summer and spring. I would say it's a white floral fragrance. It's got tuberose in it. It's long lasting, it's unique. It kind of gives me the same vibe as Nishane 100 Silent Ways, but not quite. It's very, very sophisticated. My only challenge with this fragrance, and I mentioned it even when I bought it, is that the bottle looks very masculine. It looks masculine leaning to me. I'm a very girly girl, so I don't like things that have too much muscles.
Oh my god, it's not funny.
I don't mind a guy having muscle. Like on me, I don't like too much muscles. That's why even going to the gym, I'm very careful. I don't go and lift weights that will make me to start having 10 packs on my hand. No. I'm very feminine. So the packaging of this bottle is very, very feminine. Yeah, very, very masculine. It's kind of perfume bottle that you stone it. If you use it to hit somebody, that person is as good as gone. But why am I even going that far? Jesus Christ, guys. Let's move on. Latimus Mercurial Cashmere, beautiful fragrance, and I'm so happy that I have it in my collection. I move on. One of the fragrance purchases I made this year, I don't have it anymore, and I guess that means something, is La Nuit Tresor Intense. This fragrance, there was a lot of hype around it. Loads of people talked about it. I purchased it because of the bottle, and I think I also purchased it because I wanted to review it for you guys. It came into my collection, and I still preferred the original La Nuit Tresor à la Folie, which I have in my collection. La Nuit Tresor Intense, I eventually gave it out, I think, to my sister or my mom. Somebody in my family has it now. It's a nice fragrance, no doubt, but are there other fragrances that I would have rather put that money together to buy? Of course. So that's why it's no longer in my collection, as you can tell. I don't regret buying it, but if I was to go back in the year, would I buy it again? No. Pop and plain and simple. I don't mean to hurt the feelings of La Nuit Tresor, but that's just what it is. Another fragrance purchase I made this year is from Zerjov, and this is La Capital. This fragrance I talked about, I recommended, I hyped. It's just that getting the cover off is a chore. This fragrance is a fruity fragrance with leather in it. I am not the biggest fan of leather. I do not like leather in fragrances, but this fragrance has got so many other notes in it that sort of overpower that leather note. Leather is in the base notes and the oud notes are in the base notes. I talked about this one on the channel. I do not regret it at all. I think it's a stunning fragrance. If you're buying a Zerjov fragrance, do not expect the highest form of performance. Zerjov fragrances do not have the best longevity. I've tried it. I've tried. When it comes to Zerjov, just buy it for the niceness of the smell. When it comes to longevity, they are not the longest lasting fragrances. That is La Capital from the house of Zerjov. I move on. Another fragrance I welcomed into my collection. This one I have talked about. This is probably one of my most talked about fragrances on the channel this year. It is Magenta Tanzanite. I've not seen anything. I'm keeping quiet. We move on. Let's just move from this one. But yeah, this is one of the fragrances that I really liked. I waited for, I wanted, and I'm still very happy with this purchase. A lot of people say that this smells like Minuit Demi. I do agree. It kind of smells like Minuit Demi. It's smoky, tobacco, cinnamon, boozy, warm, spicy, perfect for winter, autumn. Even though because of how much I love this fragrance, I was wearing it all year round. I know, but it's more of a cooler weather temperature sort of fragrance, and it's one of my favorite fragrance bottles that I bought this year. Next on the list, can we talk about Magenta Tanzanite and not talk about Blue Turquoise? This is another fragrance that I welcomed into my collection. This fragrance is very green, very different, has got that salt note in it. If you're not ready for different, if you're not ready for different, if you're not ready to stand out, you know, there are some people that would rather just blend in with the crowd, so there are more crowd pleasing fragrances. This is not a crowd pleasing fragrance. This is for somebody who wants to stand out, who wants to smell different, who wants to be in the room and people are like, okay, somebody has stepped into the room that is not smelling like everybody. You've got to have some certain level of confidence to wear this fragrance, because it's just not rose, your classic rose and daisies and lilies. It's just not that. But I'm so happy I welcomed it to my collection. I can't remember how much I paid for it actually. I think with Blue Turquoise, I was looking for the fragrance everywhere. It was sold out everywhere. I eventually found the last bottle on Selfridges. I didn't think twice. I immediately purchased it over the summer and I absolutely love it. Next on the list, this one came in also about the same time as Blue Turquoise. It's My Way Intense. Now, I have been wanting My Way. I think My Way Intense got released sometime during the summer. It was just My Way on steroids. Between My Way and My Way Intense, it was just a decision for me that I would do the Intense, because the Intense is sweeter. The Intense is everything that My Way is, but just with more intensity. I must say that I smell this a lot around, and that's my only concern with it. I have no problem with people loving a fragrance and a fragrance being popular, but I also don't want to smell like the crowd. And I often walk past people and I can smell My Way on them. I'm like, this person is wearing My Way. But that just goes to show that loads of people like this fragrance. It's a really stunning fragrance. I'm so glad I welcomed it into my collection. And then finally on the list, and the most recent purchase in my collection, is Cavort from the house of Fragrance du Bois. If somebody had told me that by the end of this year I would have a Fragrance du Bois perfume in my collection, I would have doubted it. Not because of the price or anything like that, but just because it was not a brand that I particularly cared for more. Like, I had my reservations, but let's just say that the quality of the fragrance convinced me. So that's why just be good at your job, be good at whatever you do, because that might just be the differentiating factor for you, and that was what it was with Fragrance du Bois for me. Cavort is a spicy floral fragrance with a very sharp opening. Again, not a crowd pleaser, something for somebody you've got to like it to want it. It can't be, it's not something that, you know, fragrance reviewer will talk about and you just go and blind buy it. Don't even do it. Like, don't take that risk. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Zone Zoe, like Nicki Minaj would say, zone Zoe.
Zone Zoe.
Just make sure that you sample this before you buy it. Like, be very sure. I sampled this twice on I gave myself months in between sampling to be sure that I wanted it, and I am so glad that I have it in my collection. So those are all the fragrances I bought this year. I think in total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, I think in total this year I purchased about 7 or 8 fragrances. Wow, just 7 or 8 fragrances. Wow. Last year I bought over 30 bottles of perfume, if not over 40. I think in 2021 I bought over 40 bottles of perfume. So to go from that to about 8 bottles this year is, you know, I take off the hat to myself. I've tried. In summary, I think this year my choice of perfumes have certainly matured. I have moved from very floral, you know, easygoing fragrances to a bit more complex. Like, I look at the fragrances I bought this year and I'm like, girl, these are not the most crowd pleasing fragrances. When you look at fragrances like Blue Turquoise, you look at Cavort, you look at La Capital, these fragrances are a bit more complicated. So it'll be interesting to see where my nose goes in 2023. Let's just say that this baby is growing up. Like, I'm now a toddler with this perfume journey. I'm glad that I've grown up. Like, my nose has definitely grown. There you have it. Go ahead and let me know your top 5 perfume purchases this year. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Also, go ahead and do all of that good stuff, guys. Oh, by the way, if you want an updated fragrance collection video, though that's going to take me a while to film, go ahead and let me know. I will film that for you. I do not mind going through my entire fragrance collection for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go ahead and do all of that good stuff, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Guys, please like, please share, please subscribe. And until I see you again in my next video, because I look forward to seeing you again in my next video, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Hi and bye. At a go, not at a go, crowd pleasing fragrance. I can't remember. I think I'm so in today's video I will be reflecting on my 20 in today's video we
It's not